Paddock starter part 2, the rollers. The rollers come with nylon bushes that ride on the pins of the trailer. This would be no good to act as a drive, so here I am turning down bushes to insert into the tubes, weld into place, making the axle solid. Plain mild steel turned down to size with a 20mm hole for the axle. A straightforward bit of turning. And then drill out the centre to 20mm to match the axles I'm using on the paddock starter. Obviously this is repeated 4 times. Always handy to have a bit of lubrication. And lastly, drilling out to size before parting off. Originally I was just going to weld these bungs in, but I had problems with the rubber affecting the weld, so I had to give up on that. It just wasn't working. So I put the rollers in the lathe and trimmed off 5mm of rubber off the roller. This actually worked out well, because in the process of doing this I discovered that the rubber isn't bonded to the steel tube in the center of the roller. So I had to figure out a way of connecting the rubber to the roller. Otherwise drive would just drive the tube and not the roller. All comes good in the end, doesn't it? With the rubber trimmed back, of course, it was no problem then to just weld the bung in, using the axle to keep everything in alignment, and got quite a nice weld, so shouldn't be a problem later on. Again, repeated 4 times. This just left the connecting of the axle to the rubber. So I turned up 4 washers. The idea being I can weld the washer onto the tube where I took the rubber off, the 5mm of rubber, and then connect the washer to the rubber itself. After a bit of thought, I came up with just plain screwing it into the rubber. 4 6mm cap screws on each side should be enough to take the torque. If it doesn't, I'll have to figure out some other way of doing it. Here I'm centre marking 4 holes for the 6mm cap screws. They don't have to be accurate, it'll be a one-off job. So literally just drill the 4 holes and use the cap screws as the drive pins. This was my best guess at the time. You have to do that every now and then when you're building a project on the fly. Just give it your best guess and see what the results are. Hopefully you can put them right if they don't work later. As you can see here, the washers are directly on the end and welded to the tube and the boss, hopefully giving a nice secure drive. And then fitting the drive pins. I treated the rubber as if it was a piece of metal. Drilled a tapping hole, 5mm for 6mm bolts, and thankfully the rubber was very dense. It was quite hard to drill, so it's looking good. No need to cut a thread. Literally just wind it in. It seemed to be going in fine at this point, so I carried on. They actually screwed in nicely and stopped when they ran out of thread, so as I say, hopefully it won't be too bad. As you can see, I was so confident now I started driving them in with a driver. And they stopped at the bottom, didn't strip the thread, so might be a good system after all. My only fear now is that the rubber will tear around them. But again, until I try, I really don't know. If that happens, I think I will use one of these rollers as a pattern, cast them up in aluminium, knurl the surfaces and see what that does. A quick assembly just to make sure everything's working okay, and it's starting to look good. Of course, this brings us on to the next problem, which is fitting the sprockets and the starter motor drive. I shall cover that in more detail in the next video. Anyway, that's it for now. Thanks for watching.